Hi, Phanessa here. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to crochet the Bluestone scarf. It's 8 inches wide and it is about 92 inches long. For the materials, I'm using Lion Brand's Scarfie. This is the color pale gray and bluestone scarf. So this uses 2 balls of Lion Brand's Scarfie, and I had about this much left on the second ball, and it's a pretty long scarf. Although it recommends a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, with Tunisian you want to up your size to 1 or 2 sizes larger. Now there are different kinds of Tunisian hooks. I have a wooden one here and an aluminum one here. Usually there's a stop at the end. So I'm going to use this one here from Addie. It is 8 millimeters. It's just more comfortable for me to use a shorter hook on my hands. This is an interchangeable set. So this is my pretty gold set that I have here. You can definitely use a long hook. This isn't that wide, so this is enough for this size here. These are about 10 inches long. Make sure you have a pair of scissors, tapestry needle, with a larger eye just so that you can get that bulky weight yarn in there, and a tape measure. I didn't have a size that I wanted to stop at. I just kept going. I was going to use all of the 2 balls, but then it got really long and I had to stop somewhere. So 92 inches was good for me. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to start with a slip knot. Just leave a little bit of a tail to weave that in later. On the very first row, your foundation row, make sure that you crochet loosely when you pick up your stitches and when you work your chain stitches. That will help reduce the amount of curl that you will have at the edge. I'm going to chain 25 stitches. For this pattern, chain 25. The stitch pattern is any odd number of stitches. So again, chain loosely. Alright, I have 25 stitches. I'm working a normal foundation row. It's picking up loops from each chain stitch. So let's see, here's the first stitch. That's the first stitch, that's the second. So into the second, you want to insert your hook. I am going through the spine, the back side of the chain stitches. There's your flat side, and then on the back here, it's a little bit, there's little bumps or ridges. That's what I'm working into. It gives it a nicer edge. So you want to yarn over, pull through, and then keep that on your hook. You want to repeat into the next chain stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, and then you just continue all the way across. Remember to keep this loose. Don't make it too tight or you will have curling issues on the edge of your work. And by the end, you should have 25 stitches. I'm at the last stitch, and now we just have to do a return pass to complete the foundation row. We will start with chain 1. And this will be the same for every return pass that we work throughout the pattern. So you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you'll just repeat until you get to the other end. And we don't turn our work with this pattern. If you need help with basic Tunisian crochet, I have a playlist all about Tunisian crochet, and I also have other Tunisian tutorials. Okay, last one. So it's a 2-row repeat. We always skip the edge here. This edge is the first stitch, but we always skip that one. So I'm going to start with a Tunisian purl stitch. So in order to work a Tunisian purl stitch, you need your yarn in the front. Okay. So your hook has to go behind this yarn. Hold on to it so you don't lose it. And then you insert your hook through the vertical bar. You can let go of your yarn. Now it's in the front. Okay, and then you yarn over. I like to place my finger here just because it kind of gives me a little bit of a tension to hold on to while I pull through. Okay, so now you have this bump here, which in knitting terms is a purl stitch. Okay, so the next one is just going to be your normal Tunisian simple stitch right through the vertical bar in the front, yarn over and pull up a loop. So you're going to alternate between the two all the way till the last stitch, and then you have your edge stitch. So again, Tunisian purl stitch with the yarn in front of your hook. Again, place your finger here so it doesn't slip like that. Insert your hook to the vertical bar, yarn over, and pull up a loop. A regular Tunisian simple stitch into the next one. And I'll show you the purl stitch again. Make sure the yarn is in the front. You can always pull it this way if you want. That's just not comfortable for me. So I need to have it on my hook like this. So once you insert, you can let go. And I like to place my thumb here, yarn over, and pull through. Okay, just repeat Tunisian simple stitch and Tunisian purl stitch all the way across to the end. All right, I'm at the end. This is my Tunisian simple stitch. I have my last stitch to work, the Tunisian purl stitch, and the end stitch or edge stitch. And for that, you have to go through 2 loops. So right at the end here, you will insert your hook through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull up a loop. And now we just have to do a return pass. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And just keep repeating until you get to the end and with 1 loop on your hook. Okay, almost to the end here. Okay, the second row, again, we're skipping this edge stitch here. Since we started with a Tunisian purl stitch, we're going to start with a Tunisian simple stitch. Staggered because we're starting with the Tunisian simple stitch instead of the Tunisian purl stitch. Okay, repeat all the way across. Okay, I'm at the end. Last time I ended with a Tunisian purl stitch. I'm going to end this with 1 Tunisian simple stitch. Okay, edge stitch. Again, we're working through 2 loops, so you want to insert through 2 loops. Pull up a loop, and then the return pass, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and repeat all the way across. All right, so there you have it. The 2 rows that you will repeat until you're happy with the size. I used about 2 balls. Now, I'll show you when I change out how to make it look more seamless so that there's still a gradual ombre change from one ball to another. Okay, so I'm almost out of yarn, and I want to make sure that I pick up the same color scheme. So if you wanted to add fringe, make sure you do that before you complete the next ball. So I'm going to pull from the center. So this is still a little bit too light. There's still a little bit of the lighter color in it, so I'm going to keep pulling until it's completely dark. You can join this however you want. I'm going to do the invisible join. So what you're going to do is I'm going to tie this end here, just tie a knot. And then this end I'm going to tie on this side, just a knot. And scarfy is easy to break if you pull too hard, so don't pull too hard. And I don't recommend doing this with 100% wool yarn. Okay, and then when you tug it together, I'm gonna trim this. Okay, then I'm going to continue on with the pattern. And you don't have to separate your yarn that way. I just wanted to make sure it kind of blends in better. It's coming along nicely, huh? Alright, so I'm going to use up this ball just to the end, and then I will show you how to cast off or bind off. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stop. It is about 92 inches long, so it's quite long. You don't have to go that far if you don't want it, but I did want a super long scarf. The other thing is you could make it wider if you want to use all of your yarn. So I have about this much left, which is also enough for fringe if you want it. I will leave a link for instructions on how to add the fringe. Check the description box or the corner of the video on the iCard. So now I'm going to bind off. So I need to work my return pass before I bind off. So my last return pass. I like to fold my scarf in half and wear it that way. And when it's the right size, just hanging over my neck, it becomes a little bit too short for me when I double it up and wrap it around my neck. So I always like longer scarves, so I tend to make mine longer than usual. Okay, so you have a couple of choices. You can bind off in pattern, so following the pattern, or you could just bind off this way that I'm showing you. So if you were to bind off in pattern, this one here, this was the Tunisian purl stitch. So I'm going to work a Tunisian simple stitch by inserting my hook, yarning over, pulling through the stitch, and then through the loop that's on my hook. Okay, so this one is a simple stitch, so you want to work a purl stitch. That would mean that you're following the pattern as you are binding off. But if you're not, you would just insert the same way, simple stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. So it's like a slip stitch. Okay, if you do that in one motion, insert to the vertical bar, yarn over, pull through both loops. Okay. Again, if you want to bind off in pattern, you would just continue the pattern that you were on. It doesn't really matter to me. It looks fine for me. On my azure scarf, I did bind off in pattern. So just repeat all the way across. When you work the edge stitch, you will still go through 2 loops. Okay, that was the last stitch. Okay, the edge, go through 2 loops just like before. Yarn over, pull through, and through the loop on your hook. Okay, so that's what the bind off end looks like. So you want to cut your yarn and then just weave in your ends. So leave a tail when you cut your ends. So yarn over, pull it through, and then all the way through. Okay, so this is the wrong side. I feel like it still looks pretty good. It reminds me of knit garter stitches. And I'm just going to weave in my ends. Don't forget the beginning end. And if you did not join the way I did, you will have another end here somewhere in the middle. When you're ready to fasten off, just insert your needle, wrap your yarn around once or twice, place your finger in the base to hold it there and pull through, and then just cut your yarn. And I find that with this yarn and this stitch pattern, I don't need to block it. It stays pretty flat and I don't really have a lot of curling. So this is pretty straight without blocking it. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button. You'll be notified every time I post a video. I'll see you next time. I'm going to add a tag here. Right about there. Fold that back. And make sure that it goes through this hole here. See? Like that. And the screw on the other side. I have this little screwdriver that I keep in my little kit. It's for one of those like screwdriver sets, which I tend to lose a lot because my son likes to use them and then they just end up everywhere. There you go. Now I have my own personal little tag on there.